So hey, Be Terrific fans, we're here with another Hall of Fame creator, Mark Bagley.
Hi.
How are you, Mark?
I'm good.
So you're, to me, you're best known as a Spider-Man artist. Is that fair to say? That you had this tremendous run. You did all the Ultimate, right?
Right. Well, I did the first
110?
111.
100? Oh my God, I was one off.
111 issues straight with Brian Bendis.
Right, that's great.
And best experience of my career.
Really, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've known and met Brian several times because one of the guys I represent, Alex Malev, is like his guy now. They
Right.
you know, they had that Daredevil run together.
Yeah.
And now that
They make a cute couple.
do they?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he actually, Alex actually moved out to Portland to work near him.
I know, he lives in Brian's attic.
Right?
Yeah.
And then now he's left Marvel to follow Brian to DC. So, what did you think about that? That was surprising, kind of shocking, right?
It was kind of shocking, but you know, Brian's had just an unbelievable run at Marvel. It's been almost 20 years.
Right.
And nobody has that, hardly anymore. And the fact that he's still in demand enough to have DC salivating for him is just amazing. And for him to take the opportunity and run with it like I know he's going to do, because Brian is amazing. I'm his biggest fan.
Yeah.
You might be his biggest fan. I'm like his medium-sized fan. And but yeah,
I think Alex is maybe his biggest fan because
Alex is
they
amazing,
are they're a tandem that seems to work very well together at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, but I really love and respect the fact that you're still doing pencils and inks, like your rep might have let you know that how much I respect your pencils and inks a couple weeks ago. So you know, Alex actually was the first guy to really go over to digital work. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't know if he was the first guy. He's in that generation where a lot of them are doing it. You know?
He was a leader.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that.
I mean, because I know this very specifically because there was a point where I was making money with him selling his Daredevil art, and then he just stopped doing the art. So there was that moment right there where he, you know, made a lifestyle choice where he could do a book in, you know, half the time basically, as opposed to a pencil and ink guy.
You know, that's great. My issue then, I've had this discussion with guys who work digitally, is when they're done, they're at the end of the process, they have a file.
Right.
Right? And who's to say 15 years from now you can find that file or open that file? You know, when I'm done, I have a piece of artwork that I can put on a wall, I can sell, which you know about.
Yes, I do. Very well.
Or I can give to my grandkids. And it's an intrinsic thing of value.
Yes. And that's what I respect most about that.
Right.
It's a legacy
It's a thing. Well, I've actually convinced a couple guys who are in comics.
Back.
Well, not totally. They love the digital, but they'll do their splash pages and their covers.
Yeah, that's what I talked Alex into. Right, it's like, at least he gives me some covers. I have like those, not Invincible Iron Man, International Iron Man covers and stuff like that he did.
Yeah.
He did some covers like that. And I can actually get very good money because Alex, you know, is a classically trained painter in his art institute in Bulgaria.
Right.
You know, you had to get into that school because he grew up when it was still kind of Iron Curtain-y, you know? So anyway, enough about him. Let's talk about you, where you came into Amazing Spider-Man, and you got a script from Michael Michelini,
David Michelini.
David Michelini. Well, okay. That's easy for you to say.
David.
David M. And he had done this character in a black suit called Venom.
Right.
And he was following up in this Spider-Man script with this new character called Carnage. Right. Now tell us that story, because this is very pertinent to the Marvel Universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe now.
Well, it's just a natural progression of storyline. They wanted to advance Venom's impact into the Marvel Universe, so they figured, okay, well, we need a different kind of Venom. And they wanted to go something a little crazier, something a little bit more insane, because they were already kind of turning Venom into sort of an anti-hero rather than a full-out monster slash villain, right?
Right. Like some of the pages I got from you recently, he's like battling the Shocker.
Yeah, now he's basically a good guy.
Yeah, he's like fighting a classic Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, and so I got the script, and we were first going to call him Chaos, but that name was already taken. And it described just this Venom analog. So I did my first sketch of him was actually a color sketch, and it was a figure, and it was basically a red splotch here, and the red spread out from the chest and down the legs, down the arms. And they said, no, I can't do that. It looks like a shotgun wound. And I was like, okay. So then I did change the tendrils around to where they just wrap all over the body. And if I didn't know I'd be doing them 30 years later, I made them easier to draw.
So you were the first guy to interject the red and actually design Carnage.
Yes.
Which is going to be part of the Venom movie coming up.
Maybe, I hear, yeah. Possibly.
Maybe, okay.
I don't know. I'm not in that world, but yeah, it'd be nice.
Well...
I'll buy me a Cadillac if it is.
Okay,
no,
yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding. No, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't.
Haven't they paid you for that yet?
That's between me and my lawyer and Marvel, but we're doing fine.
All right. Well, 361 has exploded. And that was the first appearance of Carnage. 362, 363, it was a three-part storyline that involved Venom and is a landmark issue. I mean, the kids, that's my kids' favorite characters. Like, I mean, Venom and Carnage and that whole symbiote thing. And the trailer, the newest trailer came out this week with a Tom Hardy movie. Right. And it's had a very strong reaction. Yes. Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. I don't know how they're going to do Venom without having some sort of Spider-Man influence. It makes it a different character, but it's a different medium. So if they can make him interesting and make it true to maybe the core value of it, I mean, what people really want to see of it, I think it'll work just fine, you know? And I think Tom Hardy's the perfect guy to play Eddie Brock.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, I'm a 54-year-old guy.
I'm 60.
You're 60.
Thanks for mentioning.
We've come from a place where, you know, comic book movies were stigmatized and put into a B, or not even B, a C level, a D level, you know, not even released, crap, you know, filmmakers, you know, very low level things, to this point where A-listers and great filmmakers, guys our age that are directing these movies, that grew up with this great influence of comics for their imagination, are making these movies. Yeah. So that's an amazing, you know,
it's
evolution.
You know, when we were kids, you know, if you were into comics, let's face it, you were sort of an outsider.
Where did you see Spider-Man?
Yeah, exactly.
For 3 minutes on the Electric Company.
Right, yeah.
Flopping around, right?
I mean, that's bad Ralph Bakshi cartoons. But the point is, now so much, because of the movies, it's so much part of the gestalt, as they say. I love that word.
Yeah,
gestalt.
pop culture.
Word of the day, you know. And it's just everybody's got tattoos of it. Everybody's got, you know, everybody knows who this person, except my brother Mike. My twin brother Mike didn't know who Thor was at the end of the Avengers movie.
That's funny.
He's never read a comic in his life.
Well, I think Avengers 1 is the best movie-going experience of my life. I really thought that.
I remember
my kid. My kid just jumping out of his seat, excited, and it just worked perfectly all the way through for me. Avengers 1. So you liked Iron Man 1 first?
I was so stoked. It was so. Yeah, they were so smart to do that because the technology, it wasn't about superpowers, it's about technology. Yeah. And we all see where technology is going. So we could all see this in our head that this could be real. Yeah. And they did it so well that, you know, I loved it up until the final fight scene between him and Ebadiah Stane, because then it sort of turned into Terminator 2. I mean, not Terminator 2, RoboCop 2. You know, the giant robot, he's fighting the little one. But aside from that, I mean, I love that movie.
You know, that's, again, to my point, where Marvel Studios did their first movie, and these guys that had the love and the background and then the professional chops and movie making to make it work so well that it launched an entire universe and genre that's becoming a worldwide experience for moviegoers everywhere.
They've made it look easy, which apparently it's not, according to DC. You know, from what's coming out of DC, you can tell it's not as easy as it looks. Right. So you got all credit to Kevin Feige and Ari. I think it was Ari.
Ari.
Yeah. It's phenomenal. You know, it's amazing, and the fact that, you know, maybe one of my characters.
It's a funny point to mention, though. That's like. Marvel had licensed out what they thought to be their money-making characters of Spider-Man and X-Men and stuff like that, and they were left with like the third string characters that nobody really wanted to pay for.
Right.
So that's kind of why they needed to start with Iron Man, is because Iron Man was available. And then like, hey, wait a minute, let's do, you know, Captain America, let's do Thor, you know, and then we can do the Avengers. And then that Avengers 1, you know, was what they called the first phase movies.
Right, yeah.
Now, and now we have the Infinity War, which is the sort of the end of the phase 3.
2.
Or two,
yeah,
you know, it's phase 2. Ultron was the end of phase 2, and now, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough out there. But
what I do know is they were very brave about it, because one bad movie and this thing all goes down in flames. You know, for this 10-year plan that it got, and they haven't had a bad movie.
I mean, you know, DC's had a bad movie here and there, and they seem to be still pumping it out.
They're trying.
I mean, Superman versus Batman, you're right, was not good.
Yeah, and
I felt like they were just trying to do 3 movies in one.
Yeah.
And then you have a movie like Black Panther that comes out, and it's about one character, one villain, his surrounding characters, one storyline, and it becomes a worldwide phenomenon.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing.
Stick with one character and one storyline, guys, and you know, they like make a good movie, and people are going to go to it everywhere. And you know, it's kind of like been the Barack Obama of superhero movies, where it's initiated and activated a whole, you know, people of you know, all ethnicities, all everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's broke the top 10 all-time U.S.
I mean,
box
they were really
office.
worried about how it would do in China, because typically African American movies don't do well in China for some obvious reason. And it get killed over there.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
So they did
they
something
had an
right.
aesthetic, they had the humor, they had the good storyline, the through line, and I appreciate that, you know, because I just see it as a good movie. But what I also appreciate is that I've never had so many people from different kinds of, you know, ethnicities come to me and say, hey, got any Black Panther stuff?
Yeah.
You know, it just activated a whole collecting market with that character. And it's great. You know, that's a positive effect on the business of comic books from the movies. You know, guys who didn't grow up with like, oh, FF52, you know, first appearance of Black Panther, and then the changes he went through, and then, you know, the early 70s where Marvel went to this sort of like, oh, blaxploitation films are happening, let's do magazines geared towards African American market, you know, like Black Panther and the Hero for Hire. You know, he lived in Harlem and stuff like that. This is a mainstream movie that has broad-based appeal to everybody, and that's what's amazing about it. You know, they really, I mean, they hit, you know, what do you call it? Lightning in a bottle with that. Yep. It was perfect.
Knocked it out
just
of the park.
perfect. It appealed to everybody.
Home run. More cliches. Yeah, we do that.
Yeah?
Yeah, home run.
Right.
Knocked it out of the
So
park.
what are you working on now?
I'm finishing up a Deadpool miniseries, 6-issue miniseries called Deadpool Assassin.
Okay.
And it's, I never knew how much fun it would be drawing to spraying blood and limbs flying everywhere. It was a blast. And when I finish that, I'm going on to a Venom miniseries.
Okay, cool.
Called First Host. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or not, but it's going to be interesting.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Well, I always appreciate you. You're a great,
Thank you
articulate guest. Thank you for so much for sharing with us right now.
I appreciate it.
And good luck in your future endeavors and the rest of your Hall of Fame career. I appreciate it, Mr. Bagley. Thank you very much. This is Anthony Snyder for Be Terrific.
Be Terrific.